A couple of weeks ago I had a chat to a couple of guys from Yarran Properties over here in Bali. They are the guys who have developed this thing that called Lease for Life. They were so overwhelmed by the number of calls and the number of inquiries they got, and there was a lot of feedback, both positive and negative, or questions or opinions based on the article, that we've promised we're going to do a bit of a follow-up for them. So Yarran Properties got hold of us and said, listen Muzz, we love what you're doing here in Bali, we love the channel, and we also love what you're doing with Bali Donate. They've offered to sponsor and support our channel, so a huge shout out to Yarran Properties. Thanks guys, because your donations and your contributions are going to help us to continue the work we're doing with the poor people here in Bali, and also make this channel successful and worthwhile. So guys, pardon me, I'm down at my property in Buduk. It's sort of northwestern Canggu area, and we're just about to do a whole series of videos based upon the building process as I go through it personally. Now listen, I'm not a building agent or anything like that. I'm just telling you my experiences, and good or bad, you're going to know all about it. It's not going to happen overnight, because I don't have a lot of money yet. I've got some property in New Zealand that I've got to try and sell before I can actually get underway with a proper building. But the next few videos are going to be all about what it takes to start developing property, the differences between buying property and some of these other options like leasing property, or the lease for life option, which gives you a property for the next 90 odd years, and something that you can sell when you're finished using it, or when you pass away, and the capital gains stay in your pocket. So there's a few different options. In my case, my wife's Indonesian. She was able to buy the property in her name, and we can progress with that as if, well, as a normal landowner. But for many people, that's not an option. Certainly many people coming from Australia or other countries, where it's much more difficult to get a property in your own name. So sorry if I went rambling. I hope you enjoy this video, and more to come, and thanks guys. A couple of months back I made an announcement about me and Fee buying a bit of land, and it wasn't there to deceive you as such, but we're only halfway through the purchase, and I really didn't want to say too much at the time because it could have changed the way things went. So the steep part that I showed you was way over there. On the other side, here's the road, here's the access, and except for the jungle, I got bananas. I've actually got my own banana tree. That's the first, and they're quite small. But so my land starts approximately here, goes through there to this corner. I've got the excavator coming in today, so we've been out marking up where we need it all cleaned up. From here, it goes down to that little red post there. And from down here, if I can get there without killing myself, we've got a beautiful little creek down the bottom, and a shop across the road that sells beer. It's a bonus. I guarantee there's going to be some sort of flying fox or string line. Now, it's quite a ways down. We do need to do a little bit of retaining on that creek wall to stop losing the bank. But so we're still flat, almost dead flat with the road, and we come across through this way. It's a bit of a weird wedge-shaped block, or axe head sort of shape. Still pretty flat. That black tape there is approximately my boundary. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. And it keeps coming across. Past me a banana tree. Somewhere there. There it is, up the top there. Keep coming. And here's my next corner. So from here, my boundary, that's where I was standing before when it said it was really steep. From here, it goes quite a 45 degrees angle or something up to the top. But you can see there's a big retaining wall that goes halfway. And this corner here, that's the flat corner. It goes to there, and there's a big retaining wall that goes up that hill. Now that's not mine there. This is mine here, the lower section. And the plan is, we got all the river from that post back there down behind this big clump of bamboo, all the way up to the back corner of that house, across, past that house to, don't know if you can see the material blowing there, just past the bamboo tree, down this retaining wall, and all the way back across to the road. So, look, I was being a little bit sneaky for a good reason, because this block here, this was a little bit landlocked. You couldn't easily get into it. A lot of bamboo. Oh God, it's not easy getting through it, I tell you. But if you can get through it, and I can't actually see that I will, there's a nice big flat area there that's almost the same. We're going to flatten the whole block, and it goes up to the edge of that building, includes that big tree down behind that big stand of bamboo, and back up to the road. Now there is a road there, right there next to that plant, but I'd lose half the block if I had to make a driveway. Look how steep it is. It's nearly vertical. So we're actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to excavate more of that, continue that retaining wall across and down, so I've got more land, and if I can get to it, show you the view from the little creek. I don't think I can. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be coming back here tomorrow morning to show the digger driver what we're doing and where he's got to push around. I'm going to include you guys. Look, I don't have a lot of money to start doing a lot of work here at the moment. We've got some property in New Zealand that we need to sell first, so I can get a few dollars together to start building something here. Tell you what, wish I was a mountain goat, but you just don't know what you're putting your feet on. This is really rough. There's bamboo and rocks and holes and For those of you who are thinking of moving to Bali, you might be interested just to know what it's cost me to build this place. Yes, I'm unfit, I know. I don't need anyone to remind me, because every time I stand up, sit down and walk up a flight of stairs, I remind myself that's the subject of another vlog in the coming months. But we're going to go through the cost of building, renovating, excavating and developing in Bali. And I'm keen to, you hear stories, I've seen what other people have done, and it seems too good to be true, and I'm hoping it's not. But if I can make a nice little bit of paradise here we go, there's the bottom edge. There's my little brother Katort. His house is right there, a little black one you can just see in the corner. So we've got a nice big wedge-shaped block there, up to the back, up to the next road and across. Really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I've had a quote already for the excavator, for the truck to come in and take all the vegetation and the stuff that we don't need, and the excavator. It's a pretty big one for the next couple of days. It's cost me about $2,000. Now that's a flat figure. I like them because you know what you're up for. It's not too bad, considering how rough and how inaccessible it is. And from there I'll be able to get a much better look at the terrain. When I came here it was dry season, so it was pretty easy to see what we had to deal with. There was nowhere near the jungle vegetation. I didn't have my own bananas. I can't wait to have them. First banana off our tree. That'd be cool. Could do it. But in my case, I bought it in my wife's name. Perfectly legal if you're married to an Indonesian. to put it in the partner's name. If you're coming over here and you wanted to do this yourself, you've got two options. You could you can register a company and buy it in the name of the company with you as the director. And there are tax implications, and there's a layer of extra cost involved. Or what most people do is they lease it. And in Bali, you can take a 100-year or a 20 or 50-year lease. Now, if you leased this, for the next, say, 20 or 30 years, built your own house and lived in it, rented it out, did whatever you want to do, you might take a 40-year lease if the owner will give it to you. And at the end of that first 20 years, and you say, you know what, I've had enough, I want to move back to Australia, or I want to buy something else, you can sell the remainder of that lease, and that person's got a guaranteed ironclad lease for the next, whatever they've got left, 10, 15, 20 years. So it's a really cost-effective way of buying land. It's hard to say what a lease is worth, but I'll give you a ballpark. For most of the property that I've seen, a lease is worth about $1,000 per ara per year. So in the case of this block here, this is 6 ara. This is 600 square meters. Now that would mean it would cost about $6,000 a year. And over the next 10 years, there'll be 60,000. If you took it over 20 years, it gets close to 20 or 30 years, becomes around about the actual purchase price of the land. In this area, a building block, like the ones that we've got around us here, like the one that Katut bought, and there's one between actually, there's 1.5 ara between this pole here and the corner of that house. That's 1.5 ara, so you could get a decent sized house in there, maybe a little bit more than that. So you can actually get enough to build a house for 1 ara, maybe 1.5 if you want a swimming pool or something. Katut's got a 1 ara house, and it's got 3 bedrooms, 2 en-suites, 2 living areas, and a kitchen. It's quite nice. It's got an undercover parking area, a huge deck, and a big temple. To buy that land these days, that would be $45,000 outright for 1 ara, and to build the house, it cost him about $65,000-70,000 finished. He did all the architecture himself. Him and 2 builders and an apprentice sat down and worked it out, what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. He cut some corners, and he knows the locals, so he got it for a cheaper price than you and I would. But that gives you an idea. You can potentially, if you get onto the right people, you know what you're doing, for 100, 120, say 150 would have got him a pool as well, but he wouldn't have any room for his temple and his car. So it really depends on what you want. I want a pool, even though I've got a little creek down the bottom. I definitely want to put a small pool up. It doesn't have to be big, but there's going to be well and truly enough room. I'm hoping to put a couple of units up and then put my own house in. So I've got a bit of a home and income opportunity. But we'll see. We'll just wait and see what we get back from the architects and what they can do, and that's certainly what I can afford. But you can afford for 150. So even if you wanted a beautiful house, here's a lovely house going up. It looks like it's 2 bedroom. They use the bamboo as supports for the ceiling while they're pouring the concrete, the foundations and everything. It's just crazy how they do it. They've got all the bricks stacked and tied together. That's a pretty big area. That's probably 2 ara, and that's going up now. This little block of land here, this is also Katut's. So he's got a small section for sale, isn't it? Put a big ad in for yourself, Katut, while you can. Anyone want to buy some land, come and see Katut. But look, it really depends on what you want to do. I'll go through the whole cost. I'll break it down, and it'll be a bit of a video memorial or video diary of the process, because I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to having something we can talk about, something we can show you guys, and give you an idea. This area is, I guess, northwest of Canggu, so it's called Buduk. It's out of the craziness of Canggu. A little bit of traffic to get here, and it's about, I don't know, half to 45 minutes away from Kuta, from Sunset Road, places like that. But depending on traffic and time of day, it's actually not too bad to get here at all. And you're in the middle of there's rice fields there, a nice little village there, nice little creek down the bottom, and it's quite peaceful. And one day I hope to be living here. So there you go, guys. That's a quick update for today. I've got to go and mark things up, cut some bamboo, get in there and just put some posts up so people know what they're doing and where they're going. And then tomorrow morning we got the diggers here, and we'll see what they got to say. Thanks for coming along. See you guys.